gods in robes. At least they think they are. They're an oligarchy. And they rule over all the rest of us. They know what's best for all the rest of us. There's no longer a meaningful limit on their power. And so 2 gay men in California brought a lawsuit against Christian Mingle's parent company, Spark Network, which also administers CatholicMingle.com, AdventistSinglesConnection.com, BlackSingles.com, and a mobile application, CrossPaths. They allege the site's failure to accommodate gay users violated the Unruh Civil Rights Act, a state anti-discrimination law. Christian Mingle only includes man-seeking woman and woman-seeking man options for users, but does not include alternatives for users seeking members of the same sex. Well, how about man-seeking German Shepherd? Is that next? It better be, logically. Man-seeking tree. It's all going to have to be there eventually, because this worldview that has taken over, that these people are forcing upon us, has no foundation. That's what's coming. That's what's coming. These people are totalitarians. There is no such thing as religious liberty. There is no such thing as freedom of thought. You must think like them, act like them. They will tell you everything. These are totalitarians, and they're all around us. And most Americans are just sitting around going, well, you know, hey, as long as it doesn't affect me. Well, you don't seem to understand that you may go along with the majority a long ways, but you need to realize those bumper stickers that say the bigger the government, the smaller the citizen, are absolutely true. And once you have a government that controls everything, you are nothing. There is no such thing as individual liberty. There's no such thing as individual responsibility. You are whatever the government says you are. And it was only a few stinking decades ago that this kind of stuff existed behind the Iron Curtain. And this nation and its leaders were instrumental in bringing that curtain down. And funny, pretty much since that time, we've been running toward putting it back up, except we're on the inside of it. We've forgotten history. And you join this together with the Supreme Court not even taking the case. I mean, the Supreme Court's done, folks. It doesn't matter who's elected. The Supreme Court is finished. It's done. And since that is now the means of determining the society in which we live, as far as I can see, the constitutional republic form of government in the United States is finished. It's done. And this is July 4th that I'm saying this on, but I said this last year. I reposted something I wrote last year on Facebook. There is the Constitution is meaningless. If the words in it don't mean what the authors intended, it's meaningless. And now that the Supreme Court is just filled with ideologues who could care less what the Constitution is, it's done. I don't know what kind of government's going to take its place, but you know, I posted a thing with Benjamin Franklin saying, "So, a republic, if you can keep it." And then there's a picture of Trump and Clinton, and then Franklin saying, "I'll take that as a no." It was perfect. I don't know who made it, but it was perfectly done. I think libertarians made it. It was perfectly done. Neither one of them, in my humble opinion, is capable of maintaining a republic. Neither one of them. And I personally think this is going to be one of the most lopsided elections in American history. I really do. I think Dukakis will have done better than one of the two people in this particular election. Anyway, so it's coming, folks, and these folks don't care about religious liberty. They will banish it faster than, and all under the idea of bigotry, hate laws, all the rest of this stuff. That which is evil will be called good, and that which is good will be called evil, and that's where we're going to be. And we've got choices to make. Do you stay and be a prophetic voice, or where do you go? I mean, leaving is a biblical possibility. I mean, Jesus said, flee in the mountains. They persecute you here, flee in the mountains. Fleeing is not something that's wrong biblically. But where do you go? Almost every part of the West, this is the issue that you're facing. I don't know. All I know is this is coming so fast, and I don't want to use movie titles, but Fast and Furious. And these people they are furious. God is just removing his hand of restraint, and we are seeing how people hate the gospel and they hate God's law, and they're self-destructive. I mean, all these behaviors are self-destructive behaviors. I suppose we could just hunker down and survive it because, I mean, the way these people are going, they ain't going to be having any kids. But, of course, they're going to take ours. That's the whole thing. They don't want to have to go through that messiness themselves. They'll just take ours. And that's what they want to do. No two ways about it. So what we're watching, if you, that's why I say, you know, I've recommended books, non-Christian books, that are almost prophetic. It was last summer, while I was doing the drive I'm going to be doing for the next few weeks. It was last summer that I listened to Brave New World. Again, I had read it back in high school. Everybody back in high school had to read Brave New World, back when I was young. And 1984. I recommend those to people because they are such graphic prophecies of what we're seeing being fulfilled right now. Even though I had a millennial on Twitter go, I read it, I don't see any parallel. I'm just sort of like, okay, well, there's the public education system for you. But other books, and like I have them in the other room, but I think Crossway owns Schaefer's stuff, if I recall correctly. And they have a 5-volume it looks like a rainbow flag, unfortunately. I mean, I love the rainbow, but it's been stolen too, just like Eucharisteo has been stolen from us. But 5-volume hardback of Schaefer's works. And the first volume contains... No. One of them that you need is at a later... The Christian Manifesto is in one of the later volumes. But if I recall correctly, that first volume is the one that has the God who is there, escape from reason, and he is there and he is not silent. You can get them, obviously, in the singles, but they're available. And if I recall correctly, there's also a hardback of those books, the 3 of them together, that I think I've seen. I'm not 100% certain on that. Anyway, if you want to read some good, meaningful Christian stuff that's going to help you to understand the fundamental reasons. Dated? Well, yeah. I mean, if you wanted more up-to-date examples and stuff, sure. But if you want a foundation to be able to interpret this stuff, I highly, highly recommend them to you. Anything has to be read with discernment, obviously, but good stuff. And it'll at least help you to understand what we see around us and why once you abandon